Hey Lash Artists, it's Erica from Simply Lash, and today I'm going to teach you how to isolate properly so that your lash extension sets come out perfectly. You don't have stickies. You will actually start going faster this way, and it's overall going to be amazing for you and your clients. So let's go ahead and get started. So in this video, we're going to go through isolation. So I'm going to be isolating on this mannequin so that you can see. First of all, there's two types of isolation tweezers that you can use. There's a curved isolation tweezer. The reason that I like these is because if someone has deep set eyes, it will actually curve down into the eye a little bit easier. And then there's also a straight isolation tweezer. Both are fantastic. You can use both. It's really your preference, but it's just gonna take you deciding what you like. So when it comes to isolation, the reason that this is so important is because if you're not isolating properly, your clients are going to come back with lashes stuck together. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be really difficult for you to fix, okay? So when you are isolating, I recommend using both tweezers. So what I mean by that is you're going to use your isolation tweezer, and then you're also going to use your placement tweezer. So let me grab that real quick. So this is an example of a placement tweezer or a volume tweezer, whatever you want to call it. By the way, all of these tweezers are available on my shop. This is the curved isolation tweezer. This is the Simply Perfect volume tweezer. I'm sorry, this is the perfect volume tweezer. And this is the straight isolation tweezer. So use what your preference is, but when you're isolating, you really want to use both of the tweezers to isolate. So let me get this little lash off there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more for you to see. These I purposefully left on so that you can see what to do. If a client came in for a fill, their lashes might look something like this, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and start placing some lashes here. When you are isolating, it is so important that you're making sure that the natural lash is 100% isolated from every other natural lash, every other extension. So I'm going to place it. So I'm going to show you what I do. So typically there's two ways you can do this. You can isolate first, and what you would do is isolate like so. And notice how no other lashes are touching this lash, okay? And you can hold that there while you grab another lash. And then we go to place that extension. Now keep in mind, when you're placing the extension, you should never place it more than a millimeter. I'm sorry, it should always be at least 0.5 millimeter to 1 millimeter away from the eyelid. As you can see that tiny space right there between the skin and the extension, because you never want glue or the extension to be touching the skin. That can push their skin. It can cause irritation. So you definitely don't want any of that, okay? So after I set this lash down, I'm going to wait 1 to 2 seconds, and then I'm going to gently remove my tweezers. That's going to give the glue time to dry. And the next thing I'm going to do is go over to the other eye and place one here. Why are we doing that? Why are we going eye to eye instead of just placing all over one eye first? The main reason is because the glue needs time to dry, okay? So I just placed this extension, right? Now let's say I just am gonna do one eye, and then I'm isolating over here, and I'm pushing all of these lashes onto that extension that I just placed, okay? So if it's not totally dry, I've automatically created a problem for myself, and there's gonna be stickies. That is gonna be a nightmare. So once you place the extension, gently lift your tweezers and go to the other eye, okay? Now we're gonna be on this other eye. And again, I'm using both tweezers to isolate. I'm using both of my tools, okay? Isolating should be, I know it's difficult, but use both of your hands to do it, okay? Sometimes I'll even use my nail if I need a third little tweezer tool, right? So see how this is perfectly isolated. Now we're gonna place an extension over here. And I'm not so much worried about lengths on this. This is purely just so you guys understand. Okay, and again, I am placing with 0.5 millimeter to 1 millimeter away from the eyelid. I do not ever want it touching the skin, okay? Wait 1 to 2 seconds. I gently remove, and then I come back to the other eye, okay? Now let's look at this area where it's full of extensions already, but there is maybe still a gap that I need to fill in there. Again, I'm going to use both tweezers to isolate my extension, like so. I'm going to grab a lash and place it 0.5 millimeter to 1 millimeter away from the skin. And I'm gonna wait here for a second, okay? And while I'm waiting, I'm making sure that these other extensions aren't touching it, okay? And then I'm going to gently remove, let that continue to dry, and I'm gonna come over to the other eye and we're gonna do it again. So we're always making sure that we are totally isolated. So again, you can hold it in place. You can hold it like this, holding this hand still while you grab the other extension, or when you start to get quicker, you can grab an extension and dip it in glue, and then you can quickly isolate in place. 0.5 millimeter to 1 millimeter away from the eyelid, okay? And then we're just going side to side. So remember, when you're isolating, it's so important that you get that lash completely by itself. And then we're going eye to eye so that you are not making any stickies or any more problems for yourself. Make sure that you're isolating properly on every single client. And the last step that you want to do in your extensions, at the end of the set, when you've already done everything and you've placed all of your extensions, you're going to go through one by one, like the last 10 minutes of the fill or full set. You're gonna go one by one and make sure every single lash is completely isolated and not sticking to another lash. Once that's complete, then you can brush through and then you're done with your set. The last and final tip I will say, don't brush through your lashes so much throughout the set. You really only want to be brushing through maybe at the beginning to get any extra lashes off before you begin, halfway through to see where you're at, and then at the very end after you've checked for stickies. If you're brushing through during the full set or the fill, number one, you're wasting time, honestly, and number two, you're also creating stickies because some of these aren't going to be fully cured yet, and you're going to actually be sticking them together by doing that. So lash side to side for that isolation piece and make sure every natural lash is totally clear of anything before placing an extension. I hope that isolation video was very helpful to you. If you liked it, go ahead and hit subscribe to my channel to see more lash tips and tutorial videos. And for any lash products or online trainings, you can go to my shop at simplylashshop.com.